Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. Something did show up on my door on Friday, Robert. That's how long I've had it. And I will say the H2D is pretty awesome, but it's huge. Dr. Doohickey, welcome back to the stream. Eduardo, welcome back. Mark, welcome back. Glenn, welcome back. Hope everybody's doing well. It looks like we have Hotfix joining us as well. And then Dr. Doohickey, how many printers do you have now? I have 3 bamboo printers now, the H2D, X1C, and the A1 Mini. I had to build a new table, so there'll be a little bit different look to the studio by next weekend, hopefully. I got most of the table already built. And then it looks like we have Eduardo joining us as well. Hotfix, go ahead and say hello if you want. Do you guys want to see the H2D printing?
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
All right, let me know when you guys can see Pandas Love Bamboo.
There we go.
And this is with no light. I probably should have turned the prime tower off because this is just a 2-color print. So I have the black going through the right nozzle and the white going through the left nozzle. The AMS2 Pro on the right nozzle and just a normal AMS on the left nozzle.
Is the corner of your purge tower lifting up?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it kept on going. And it has way more sensors. And if you put your hand inside of there while it's printing, it stops. It's pretty cool. And it says there's a foreign object in there. It's pretty cool.
That is very cool with people with kids. I'm really glad to hear
Yeah,
that.
and then there's one. I don't know if anybody has any like woodworking tools or whatever, but they usually come with like a little safety key that if you take out, like you can't like turn that thing on. It has one of those as well in the back, so you can pull that little safety key out, and nobody can use the printer. So I really like that. Or if nothing else is turning it off, you can yank that thing out of the back as an emergency stop.
Isn't that where they have a cable with a power off switch for those that have the laser? I've seen some videos that there's a like a turn off switch on the side that you connect. I think it's in the back where that plug is. I think
Maybe
that's the purpose of that. I
maybe,
think
but
that's the
it
purpose of
says
that.
like a little. It's a little safety key or whatever, and it says to insert it before printing or whatever. So I inserted it, but
Yeah,
it looks just like the little keys
it,
that
it
you
won't
get
turn
with like a table saw and stuff.
yeah, it won't turn on if you don't have that in there. That's what I saw in a video. But I think that's where you connect the version that has the laser um,
It has a dongle with
connect
it. Yeah.
yeah connects in the back. There's a cable and you put it on the side on the right hand side. I think that's where you connect it, and I
Yeah,
assume
that's
that's the
exactly what
purpose of that.
it is. Yeah. You're spot on.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. The dual nozzles. I did go ahead and order another AMS too. I couldn't resist, so that'll be here this week. And I just got the high flow nozzles this afternoon, and I just put those in. And this is the first print with the high flow nozzle.
You got that
Right?
terrorist money kind of going on.
they didn't hit the
I
tariffs on the nozzles just yet, and I saved like $500 getting it before
yeah.
the tariffs. So
Uh, I did too. I ordered the high flow nozzle too.
yeah, those came
Um,
today, so I put it in there. And if you haven't changed a nozzle in like a A1 or a A1 Mini, this is the same type of thing. You just take the sock off, and then it has that little snap on it, and then it comes right off. It takes like 20 seconds to change a nozzle. It took
on the
less than a
X1.
minute to put both nozzles, both high flow nozzles in here. So if you need to do like point 0.2 or point 0.6 or point 0.8 or whatever, like it doesn't take minutes and minutes like it does on
Yeah,
the X1 where you have to take all those screws out and everything. It takes a couple of seconds.
yeah. I haven't changed other than two times that I had to take them off on my two X1 carbon. I haven't changed nozzle size because of that.
Yeah,
You
it's a
know,
total
yeah,
pain in the
concerned
butt.
I'm gonna break the wires.
I'm
So
not
I'm looking
concerned
forward
with
to.
that because you can replace all of that stuff, and I have most of that stuff. But like you had to take out all of those screws, do all of that stuff. This thing, you just unload the filament. In less than a minute, you can change both nozzles,
I
and
haven't
it's real
ordered the.
cool. Let me go to.
Did you order the point eight?
I don't have no. I didn't order the point 0.8. I have the point 0.2, the point 0.4, and the point 0.6. I didn't see the need for the point 0.8. And whenever you
That's the
just
one
hit
that.
this sync button right here, it syncs the high flow and all of that, and it recognizes that you put the high flow in. It's pretty slick.
Yeah, I those are the nozzles that I ordered also, but I haven't ordered the point eight. I tell you the truth, I have the point six on the for the X1 carbon. I've never used it, or the
Yeah, I
point
think
two for
I've
that matter.
yeah I think I've printed with the point 0.6 like 4 or 5 times, but that's because it's a total pain in the butt
Exactly.
to change. So that might change, but I could see using the point 0.2 for like lithophane, um,
Hmm.
or just some finer detail stuff since it's so easy to just put two point 0.2 nozzles in there. And if you're just doing a two color print, it said it saved and purged 95 grams. That's the other thing that's cool is whenever you go, we'll just move this a little bit, and you slice this in filament saving mode, it shows you 93 grams of filament and 150 changes if you have the filament on each nozzle versus doing two filaments on one nozzle.
Hmm.
So that's pretty cool, and it shows you exactly how much of that is saved by doing that. So for like two color prints, you just put each of the filaments in each AMS, and that's the real
Hmm.
reason I got the second one because I was like, okay, so that's super handy, and that'll be because I was thinking I could use my second AMS that I don't use that much for my X1C as the second AMS for this one, which I'm totally doing right now, and I didn't need anything extra for that. I right out of the box was able to connect the second one to it with nothing. But being able to do the two color print with the two nozzles like that is the reason that I got the second one, because that's why you would want the second dedicated or third, fourth, and fifth or whatever dedicated, because it just eliminates a lot of the waste and the nozzle changes and the filament changes and all that.
Hey, Lens, I sent you a little note I saw in a video that said that the cables for the AMS2 Pro are not the same as the cables for the old
Yeah,
AMS.
so that's super confusing. If I'm gonna use the AMS2 Pro on my X1C, that matters,
Yeah,
which I'm not
but
gonna ever do.
uh,
Ever.
uh,
Me
I,
personally,
I,
never gonna do.
yeah. What I
But to
was.
go from the normal AMS to the H2D, I used the exact same cable. I just unplugged it from the second normal AMS and plugged it directly in there, moved the PTFE tube, plugged it into the left nozzle, It recognized everything and it's doing it right now. I did not need an extra cable. It's only if you want to use the AMS2 Pro on an X1C, which if I have one AMS2 Pro, one H2D, not sure that thing's ever going to get plugged into anything else. So I don't know. I don't need that cable. But yeah, if you're going to use it on an X1C, and I guess on the A1, and I didn't doesn't it have a note for like Q3 or something? I think you can use the AMS2 Pro on the A1 or something like that. But
Yeah,
that's when you need those cables if you want to do the drying. But for the H2D, you do not need any extra cables for
no,
the
no,
normal
that's
AMS.
no, no. What I was saying is that even though the cables look exactly the same, they're not configured the same. And if you are going to connect a AMS, the old AMS, you need to use the old cables that came with the original AMS. That's why it worked in your H2D. But if you use a new cable on the old AMS on your H2D, I don't think it was going to work there. It won't recognize it right. I mean, it's confusing why they
Yeah,
they they
but I
made them
only
exactly the
have
same.
one. I only have one of those cables with the AMS two.
No, no, I understand. I understand. It's just that I was confused by it. I thought they were
Yeah, that was
interchangeable, and
super
I
confusing to me too. And then
yeah,
I plugged
yeah.
it in and it worked, and I was like, okay, Eduardo, like I didn't need any of that information on that cable to make this work. But
No, yeah, because you were connecting the old AMS on with the
yeah, yeah,
cables
because
from
I
the old
only have
AMS.
one cable for the new
Exactly,
one, and
exactly.
I've it was already plugged in, so there was no way for me to do that. But that is good to know that they're different cables. But I didn't run into that problem at all because I
If you
already
want to
had the
use
one plugged in.
more than one AMS on one of the nozzles, you need to use a PTF converter from 1 to 4. You can add 4 on one side. They sell them for like $4, I think it is, or five
Yeah, it
bucks.
looks exactly like the one on the A1 and the A1 Mini.
Exactly,
There's a
exactly. Very
lot of
similar.
stuff from the A1 Mini that I see in the H2D, and I'm glad that I got the A1 Mini. And hotfix, if you ever get the H2D, you'll be glad that you have your A1 because there's a lot of similarities between the two, like the nozzle changing. That 4-to-1 PTFE tube thing is is identical to that, so there's a lot of similarities to that.
But the nozzle, even though they're similar, they're not exactly the same. You can't interchange them from the A1 to the H2D.
No,
They're
you
not.
can't change the
They're
nozzles, but the
yeah.
process of changing the nozzles is the
Yes. Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm
Yeah.
trying to make.
Yeah. 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 Certainly.
Yeah, real quick to answer Doc's question earlier on filament, Doc, the base filament, the PLA, the PETG, and stuff appears to gone up like $2 a roll,
It
but
did.
the
Yeah.
PLA silk appears to be the same price still.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's crept in a little bit, but not much yet.
I think that isn't it that the discount on the refill used to be $5 and now it's only $2.
It used to be $15.99 and now it's $17.99, so it went up a couple bucks. But
And they don't do the bundle pricing anymore either.
Well,
no,
I,
they do the buy four rolls, get it for $17.99 versus $15.99. So it's still on.
exactly. Exactly. But before you would get, that's why you're getting $2 off. Before the one that I ordered last time was $5 off on the basic and the mat if you order more than 4. But now it's only 2. It's becoming a little bit more expensive. But it's when they came out originally, we were paying about that amount.
Yeah,
So
I expect it'll
so
go over time as reserves and stock go down if the tariffs stay in place. Um, a lot of people had stuff. They had the resin already set up. They had the colorant already there, right? So the
mhm,
effects of the tariffs are still, I think, are just now starting to trickle in.
Hmm.
mhm.
It's going to get
Yeah.
worse. They don't go away.
One other thing that I would mention, Eduardo, on your next few orders, order with the spool, unless you just have a whole bunch of blank spools. Because with new AMSs, I have run out of blank spools that I have.
Yeah, I hear you.
So the next couple of filament orders, I'm going to order with the spool. And with you having so many AMSs now, either start printing some or start the next couple of filament orders. I would buy a roll. And if you're planning on getting an H2D or have ordered one or whatever, I'd recommend your next couple of filament orders to order some spools so you have enough spools for your AMSs for the H2D. So I
Yeah,
did run into that problem, and have made a commitment to do that. So that's another little word for everybody. And Robert, you have not. I sent you the Teams invite, Robert. I should have. I'll send it again to you, sir.
I have probably about 15, 18 rolls, blank, that I can use for a refill.
Oh, then you should be good. I had a few, but once that second AMS comes in, I'm gonna be in trouble. So I might have to recycle a couple because I've just been buying refills for a while, and I probably only have like 10 spools total, maybe 15.
Oh, looking at the prices though, it looks like it's only a $4 delta, and you got to ask yourself, is $4 worth the spool? And that's if it was $3, I would be like, yeah. $4 is like, yeah, maybe.
It's $3, right? 17 to 20. It's $3.
Yeah, yeah. I the last batch that I ordered
You're right. I can't
like
math.
yeah,
The
I think
math.
I
I was like,
ordered
wait a minute, the math's not mathing there. But yeah, for like 3 or 4 rolls just to get that second AMS, that's like
yeah,
$12 because those spools are pretty good quality, honestly.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
when you
They're
get
they're
your
better.
standalone AMS, will you let us know if it comes full of spools like the old ones used to? Because I saw somebody unpack a.
They don't.
Oh
They
yeah,
don't. They
Eduardo
don't.
has one. They didn't have the samples or whatever.
No,
No, no, they empty spools.
they don't. They don't come with anything inside other than
So
small PTF tube and the cable to connect it to the printer, and that's it. There's nothing else. There's no empty spool or any spools at all inside. And I understand in the H2D there's no filament at all, right,
No, no,
Len?
there was no filament in there, and you had to take about, I think it was 12 screws to get it all the way out.
Hmm.
There was a ton of screws holding the AMS in there, and then there's another 4 screws that are holding the build plate down. So it comes really well packaged, but there's a ton of screws to take
And it
the
weighs a
AMS
ton.
out.
And it weighs a
That
ton.
thing is heavy. It's all of 70 pounds or 35 kilo. It's every bit of it. And these prints are from Colorado Adventure Club. I don't know if he's joined us or not, but these are the ones that he sent in last week. Welcome to the stream, Robert. But yeah, it's every bit of it. I would recommend. I in the video tomorrow, I do the whole unboxing or whatever. Um, I would do it on the floor. I think that's what you had sent in an email as well, Eduardo. I would
Yeah.
do it on the floor and then have somebody help you lift it up on the table. It took me about 45 minutes to set it up, but that was with filming and moving the camera and doing all of that nonsense. And then the calibration, 31 minutes.
Hmm. Did you order the Envision
I haven't,
encoder?
no, I haven't ordered that yet. Every time I
I
go to
ordered it.
order it, it's out of stock.
Yeah, I was able to order it the other day. It's supposedly arriving on Tuesday. My printer is arriving on Tuesday, but separately is arriving the
Did
encoder
your
is
printer come from California?
California.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where mine came. That's why it came so fast. It only took like 2 days once it started to ship.
you 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 ordered yours only. I mean, I don't know exactly what time you ordered. When you sent me the email, you had ordered it. I was in the process of ordering mine, and I went ahead and I ordered it. And you got yours
Yes.
yesterday, right?
Yes.
Mine's arrives on Tuesday. We'll be arriving. Hopefully, we'll be
Yeah, but
arriving on
mine only
Tuesday.
had to go to Colorado. Yours has to go from California to
Yeah,
Florida.
true,
So
true,
that's
true.
probably why you're. And then
And it's
it's
ground, and it's
Sunday,
ground too. It's
and it's
also
ground.
ground. The shipping label said that it was 93 pounds. The box
Yeah, I
with
believe it.
everything in it.
I
No,
believe it.
that's what it said. 93 pounds.
It's
I called
every
my
bit of
son, and
that.
yeah, I'd called my son. I told him he has to help me to put it up on the table. I don't think I'll be able to carry. I have a problem with my elbow right now. I don't think I'll be able to carry 93 pounds.
It is really easy to get out of the box or whatever. You just pull these little four little tabs off the bottom, and then the whole top cardboard comes out, and then it's exposed, and then you take a couple of pieces of foam off, and then you can just grab the bag and take it out of the bottom piece that's left real easy, and then take it out of that plastic bag. So it's packaged really well, but it's not that hard to get out and to get out of the plastic bag and everything. What takes forever is taking all those doggone screws out. And
Are
this
you
does look
keeping
like
the?
Steven Seagal, doesn't it? If he
Yeah.
had a ponytail.
I checked,
Are you
and Colorado Venture Club is not in the chat, sadly.
are you keeping the box, Len?
So it has a sticker on the top that says keep the box.
Yeah.
So I am keeping the box. Hopefully
Yeah, I
that's
guess
not
that
an
would too.
ominous sign that you need it to send it
Yeah.
back in, but it does say to keep the box.
I have the box for my X1 X1 carbon for both of them, and several of the AMS. But I saw that's a big box, man.
Yeah, it's a big box. The FedEx usually just pulls up on the street or whatever and just brings whatever to my door. But this lady like backed it up next to my garage, like to where the back of it was right up to the little walkway up front. She dragged that heavy thing up to the door. It was funny. But yeah, it
But
was. I was like, "Holy cow, it's huge!" That's when I emailed you and said it was here, and it's huge. I was like, "Holy cow, it's way bigger than I thought it would be. It's surprisingly way
did
bigger."
they take it to your door, or they left it in the driveway?
No, she took it right up to the door,
Oh, okay.
and it was raining too, and she took it out of the rain and everything. So it stayed out there for all of 5 seconds. Trust me, I was peeking out the window waiting on it.
Hmm.
If Colorado Venture Club hears this message later, I'm really curious how you got the hair to look like that, because it
I
looks
know.
like
Look at it looks like it's combed, huh?
yeah, yeah, that's really. I mean, it's obviously you see some of the layer lines in there, but
Was that on purpose or on
yeah,
with luck? But it like turned out perfect, right?
it almost looks like he used the darker filament and then came over it with
I
the
think that's
gray.
paint. I
Yeah, yeah.
think
I mean,
it's paint.
which one is the paint though? The light or the dark? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I think it's the light that's the paint.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's the dark that's the paint because of the smudge right here.
Hmm.
And I think it's
And that
the
one right up
dark.
there.
The black is the ink that it seeps in the layer lines.
I
It
didn't
looks
even
like
know.
hair.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, you can see the. Yep.
Okay. So he put it on and it looks like he wiped it off a little bit. That's whatever he did. It was really good.
Yeah, it turned out good. Like it looks like real hair. It turned out really good.
Tell us your secrets.
I know, Colorado Adventure Club. Where are your secrets?
The knitting looks great.
Yeah,
That's
the
great
knitting in the
texture.
tie looks great. What filament was that? Was that silk PLA for the silk tie?
Well, that smile is the stuff of nightmare fuel right there. Oh my! Stick to the hair, man.
That's really funny.
Whatever that particular plastic is looks almost translucent. It's got like kind of a opaqueness to it.
Yeah.
That's cool. I would love to know what filament that is. Definitely takes the whole Dummy 13 concept to a whole new level.
Yeah,
'Cause I
this
think
is a
he's-
really good color for skin.
Yes.
All right, that's two things you got to tell us, CAC, when you get back on.
How did he do the hair, and what filament is this for the
Yeah.
skin? And then his RC truck's going quite well. That body looks awesome.
It looks
The
so real,
printed
man.
body.
It looks so real.
Yeah, he
it looks like
printed
a
this.
real.
Yeah, you can see some of the layer lines right around the lights if you get in close. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, you have a hell of a vision. I mean, I couldn't
Yeah, I
see that
noticed.
until you zoomed in.
I
I'm
noticed
like
these
sensitive
right away.
wrinkles. Every new wrinkle I get, I'm like, no, I refuse to get
Oh.
older.
It looks so
when it's
real,
full
man.
screen, you can see the
Each
imperfections.
layer line is like 3 inches wide, or what?
To be fair, I do have the video up on my 65-inch TV, but wow, that looks so good.
Yeah,
It looks real, man.
Yeah.
did a good job of cleanup. And the layer lines that we saw earlier around the lights, that'll get hidden once the lenses go in.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. It looks like he might have used some filler, like especially like right over the wheel well. It looks whatever, even if it's just the paint, it looks really good.
Some of the prototypes I finished to this level or better.
Yeah, I would imagine this is sanded and painted, and he'll probably sand
Yeah.
and paint. Maybe put a little bit of filler in there and everything as well. But yeah, for things
There's
like
lots of
this,
techniques you can use for cleanup, but
Awesome.
but yeah, it turned out great. Like really
Yeah.
great.
I wonder.
Look at the
I would
speakers.
hate to
That's
crash
pretty
it.
awesome.
Now, so that's remote control. You can control it by
Yeah.
remote control.
Yeah, it's a RC car.
I bet.
And all of the little figurines that he prints are part of the competition. Is you have to have these people like inside of these trucks while you're going through
Let's
the
see.
little course or whatever. This is his course in his basement right here.
Oh my
All
lord.
these rocks right here. But you have to have one of those little people in there, and then you get points for like all of the little real knickknacks that you have in it. So like having the fifth wheel thing right here, having the speaker system in there. All of
is it a
those are
functional fifth wheel?
I don't know.
Knowing
Does he
him,
have a trailer for it?
Probably.
Does the speaker work?
Probably.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
dude, no. Colorado Adventure Club. Like that's like asking Robert if he modeled the print that we're looking at. Like it probably works.
That's
I think I
great.
see the wires going to the speakers.
Yeah, you could see something. I don't know if that's like the. Yeah, see, there's
Some color.
wires right there,
Yeah, those look real.
and they're that looks like it hinges. So I would imagine he can hook a trailer to it.
Yeah.
It looks like that is to put a trailer on as a hinge there, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's like a little hinge pin right there. All right. Well, that's all we have from Colorado Adventure Club. We'll have to talk to him if he joins us. If you're watching this in the future, thank you for sending that stuff in.
Yeah.
It does look like a die cast, doesn't it, Dr. Doohickey? All right. Next on the list is Eduardo. So go ahead and tell us about these. Wow, this one turned out really good. Again, with the color combination, really good on this one again.
Nice colors.
Yeah, that really comes out.
Yeah, I had printed that before. I forgot to send it the last time. That's from what's the name? She's a designer. She does all these designs with all these strings. 3D Print Bunny, I think it's.
I think that's what she's
yeah,
called.
yeah. So No, but I had done this before, like a week before, but I forgot to send it last time.
Yeah, it really pops out.
And I wanted to do something with the lines like that, but I've never actually did something. It can
The
create
right
just like the
color.
prismatic. I think it can create a great effect
Hmm.
that you can't tell in a picture.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. And then when you get the right color, like this yellow is just, it really adds that extra little touch to it.
I
Yeah, the
learned
three.
when you print one of these, the color used for the string needs to be separate than like something else because it doesn't want to like you can't have like the crosses also be yellow because it won't string from them appropriately. So that was something I printed one of these wrong, and the author said, "Yeah, the string has to be like a completely separate color." Just pro tip.
Hmm, that's good to know.
Even if you use a separate, where as long as you tell it it's a different color in the slicer, but it could be the same filament in the AMS.
Possibly, it had to do with how it was like retracting and moving, and it wasn't like creating the break appropriately. And again, that was one guy's models. Maybe other people figured out a way for that not to be an issue, but most of the time I see the strings are a different color.
And yeah,
It's probably that what you were saying. I assume if you have the same color in two different spools of the same color, you use one for the
Yes.
strings and one for the that's probably what the issue is.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure that even if you reassign it when you're sending it to the printer, uh, where you can pick on the box when you're sending it to the printer, or you can point it to a different spool.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
have three colors, and then when you're sending it to the printer, make that third color just the same as the second color, so it thinks that it's two
could be.
separate colors, even though it's just the same one. That could be a good trick to do as well.
But
Really
this looks
cool print. Really, really cool.
Yeah.
Is it some of the wood PLA that you had?
Actually, I think this was
This looks like the
just
brown.
brown. It
Yeah.
was just about matte brown, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
And this is the matte light brown or whatever, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, really
That was
cool.
all the matte.
Oh, and that's cool that it's just the light on the top and not all the way through. That's a really good effect on it too. Yeah, it's a really cool piece.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't design it. I just printed it. I wish I knew how to design this stuff.
Yeah, but choosing the right colors, printing it, all that's there's an art to
Yeah.
that as well.
Edward's so great at choosing the right colors, and there is a very significant component of making it look good.
That's a quick little print. Jurassic Park logo from the movie.
How big
I
is
had
that?
printed. That's small. That's maybe I would say about 4 inches, 5 inches, small. I had printed a large one about 8 inches some time ago, and I decided to print a smaller one for a friend of mine. He's a big fanatic of Jurassic Park, so that's a quick print. It's very quick print.
And this is on Maker World, I'm assuming. This is a
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it is. It is a Maker World.
The text came out great. Hey, I've tried some of that and getting the filament or to be adjusted depending on your nozzle diameter.
These are 0.4.
And but yeah, that looks great.
Hmm.
Hey, what I'm paying attention to there is the red and the letters that the transition, say at the a tab of the R, or it looks so good. It's unusual that it would be.
Yeah, there's no bleed or anything.
Yeah.
Did you use
That's
our?
Clean.
a separate layer, right?
Yeah, they are separate layers. This is all Bamboo Lab basic PLA.
Did you use ironing on it, or is it
No, no.
okay?
Well, actually, this was a standard profile that the designer set up, and I didn't modify it at all.
Okay.
Yeah, it turned out great.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what's
think-
next.
I take it the grandkids are into watching Jurassic Park now.
That's just a cute little bird, 3 birds. I did that for a friend of mine. She's into birds, so.
Yeah, those turned out really cool.
They're birds
Actually,
or they're eggs?
Do you ever mess
No, they're
with
birds. They're birds.
the randomizing the seam?
No, no, I didn't there. The seam. There is a seam on right there. Right there, there's a seam. You're going through it with, I think, with your mouse there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've
The only
been
thing
doing that here lately and just doing the random and not even
Uh-huh.
worrying about the scarf and all of that, just random, and it takes it away.
Mhm.
Let's see. Let me pull up.
If your
you-
filament is dry.
Yeah.
Well, even with that, because it starts each layer in a different place, so it takes out that's what makes that little line or whatever there is the it's starting
think
in the
with that
same
is-
place. So see how it's aligned, and that's what you
Yep.
see in that print. I just put it on
Yeah.
random whenever I need to do that stuff, and it eliminates that little line right there.
You're
With
you're
no
you're right about that.
fuss. With no fuss.
The only thing is then you sometimes find little dots all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you use
So-
matte filament, it'll hide that a little bit better. But yeah, you can get
Mhm.
what's it's like it's got zits if you use random.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually,
The advantage of you can paint where you want the seam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's like a place where a seam would make sense, like a crease or something, you can put it there, which is nice.
this is a maker world. The only thing is that whoever designed it didn't color the eyes or the beaks. So I just went ahead and I colored the eyes and the beaks. But other than that, it was a standard setup that they put up.
They look very
But
cute.
yeah, they're actually bamboo filament. It's the matte white and the black, which is charcoal, and the brown is dark brown, I think.
Is it only one model size?
No, they actually there's 3 of them. Those are the 3 sizes that come in Maker World.
Okay.
You'll find it at exactly the size. I didn't modify the size.
Mark added about an
But-
hour to the print. Yeah.
You're right. That the eyes and the beak make a difference. So they had to go back, and with the H2D, you can actually maybe put the beak one color and the white the other one, and then only have to change
Yeah.
between the black and the beak.
Yeah, that's the 2 nozzles is gonna be a game changer.
Yeah.
Now and that's funny that you say that, because now every print that I look at, I'm like, okay, I would put those 2 colors in the left nozzle and that color in the right, and let her rip and let her eat.
You know, it
But
just occurred to
doesn't
me.
the bamboo optimize for that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll try to figure out which color combination, which
Yeah,
nozzle.
whenever you send it to the slicer here, so I'll move this so it wants to slice again. So whenever you send it to the slicer and you leave it on this filament saving mode, then it tries to put these filaments in each of the nozzles. So if I had both the black and the white in the same AMS, it'll tell me like, hey, move that filament over to the other AMS, and it'll save 93 grams of filament by doing that and 150 changes. And then if you do more colors or whatever, whenever you hit the slice plate with this filament saving mode, it does that. But if you don't want to move these around, then you just click the convenience mode, and then you just leave them in whatever slot, and it doesn't care about saving filament or whatever. But as soon as you do the filament saving mode, then it attempts to, like Hotfix was saying, it attempts to balance it out. And it recommends, if you don't have them in the right place, it recommends for you to move them into the other AMSs, so it'll speed it up. It's pretty cool.
I've seen
super cool.
I've seen some people get confused with the color. They, for example, printing this same figurine that you've had with two colors. They inverted the colors, and the white came out the black came out the white.
Yeah.
I've seen that in a couple.
So what's
That's a Nega Panda.
Yeah, so what's interesting is I just pulled this one from just the home page right here. And what you'll see is whenever you download and open, so it's going to do a new one here, you'll notice that all of my filaments over here disappeared.
Yeah.
But if you just go ahead and hit slice, it's going to have you sync everything. And it's the same result, but I haven't synced all of this stuff. Now, when I hit the sync button, if I do mapping and hit synchronize, then it's just going to map everything, and it's going to put those at 1 and 2. So you kind of have to be careful with this and pay attention to what's going on. What you're alluding to is you will start to get confused because these are in separate AMSs, but right now what we're used to is this looks like it's in one AMS.
Exactly.
If you want to just keep everything straight, use the overwrite and then go that way, but you will have to go and recolor stuff, which is what you were alluding to right here. Now it changed all the colors like that, but it's easy enough to just go in and change it.
That's
back.
Acid Panda.
But that's what happened is they didn't like that it wasn't right. This is the actual view. This is one AMS right here, and this is the other AMS. So you have to kind of be careful with that. The mapping is better. It makes that easier, but it will like confuse you. And right now it's stuck on confusion or whatever. So you do need to be careful with that.
I do like the mapping feature because a lot of times I used to sync my filaments, it would override them, and I have to like paint them, and I could never. There's sometimes you couldn't get it repainted exactly.
Yeah. I hated that. So that is one of the best things, and that works on the other printers too, which I really like that. And it makes what I was just doing right there, where you just grab something from Maker World and hit open in Studio. Before, I would download the 3MF or the STL just for that reason, because when you open it up, it was with the P1P, and I'm trying to use the X1, and then I wouldn't realize that till I hit print. The filaments weren't mapped right. You would have to go and move your filaments. Okay, how did they map it in their AMS, right? Because that's how it saves it. And then you'd have to map your AMS. So I love the mapping feature, but yeah, you can see how easy we confused it, and you can get confused in there. So pay attention to that as well. It's a good call out on that.
One other thought I had was it's really awesome in this particular print that the white is on one nozzle, and you put the brown and the black on the other, because you don't have to flush a whole heck of a lot to go from brown versus black to white. So even if you do end up flushing between two dark colors is a lot better than a light and a dark. So that's just yet another reason why that's a really good setup.
Yeah, and this will eliminate the ringing too whenever you have it on two separate nozzles. Because that's what's happening is you still have some black filament in the nozzle as the white's coming through, and that's what makes the ringing around it or whatever. When it's on two separate nozzles, you eliminate that. So that's going to clean a lot of that stuff up, and it's going to make everything even more sharp than what it is today. Oh, and it's done.
Uh-oh.
It printed the panda.
There you go.
So that's the first dual AMS, dual color, high flow print that I've done in the H2D.
You need to think out of the box there with the bamboo logo.
What do you mean?
Meaning the logo on the build plate. The
I think
pandas are in the box.
yeah, he was,
Oh
he
yeah,
was trying to be
yeah.
funny. It was a
That's
dad.
funny.
In the box instead of outside the box.
That's so funny.
I chuckled. It was bad. It was bad. Good job, Robert.
Hey, Len, I sent you a link to a video that I saw yesterday. I forgot the guy's name. Has Filament Friday, I think it is. I forgot what it's called, but he does
Functional Print Friday. Yep.
exactly. And he had an issue with his H2D printing PTG that apparently there's some issues with the fan system that he had to actually turn it off because he couldn't get it to print correctly. And I don't know if you have a chance, you might want to take a look at it. If you have a problem with PTG, apparently the fan automatically turns on the fan. And he
It
was
was
saying that
venting
it,
too much. You're right.
exactly.
He had to turn off
Exactly.
the fan so it would keep the chamber warmer, and then the PETG stopped basically pulling the build plate up.
Exactly. So anyway, that's some. Yeah, this is just another octopus that I'm printing for a lady to help my wife. Her grandson.
Is that on Maker World?
Loves Maker World. Yeah, it's on Maker World. It print in place other than the eyes. I mean, you can actually print them, the eyes too, together, but it takes twice as long. So I just printed the eyes separately. I mean, the difference in time was like, I think this took like 6 hours, and the other would have been like 11 hours.
Oh wow!
I
5
mean,
hours for some.
yeah, just for the eyes.
Without it, like 30
Yeah,
minutes?
just for the eyes because of the black and the white.
I
Crazy.
think it was by 3D Printy. Okay.
And then see here, right nozzle red, left nozzle yellow, right
Yeah,
nozzle
you're
white,
already-
left nozzle black.
But I mean, since the yellow and the red is not a problem because it's you're printing the yellow first, and then it switches to the red and it stays with the red all the rest of the time, and then the other plate is the eyes print in place. I mean, print by object, the eyes, the white, and then the black separate from the white. So it's relatively quick. That prints like in 20 minutes, I think it is 15 minutes, 20 minutes. The eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so you only have to, put the eyes in separately.
So cool.
Well, you can expect to see a few more of those next week.
Hot fixes. I see your octopi, and I raise you some octopi.
I just live vicariously through his grandchildren. Is really what it is.
These are octoprints.
No,
Arctic-
I'm not sure. I'm not sure actually. Let
I'm
me
making a
look.
joke. Octoprint
okay.
is
That's the old time
software.
lapse thing, right?
I see.
I put the link in the chat if
Software
anybody
that
wants
you
it.
use to. You can use almost any camera, I think, with the octoprints to make that, but that is funny.
Robert's on fire tonight.
With the
This is
dad
by
jokes.
3D
Yeah,
Printy Eye. 3D
Yep.
Printy Eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, I linked it in chat for anybody. That's awesome. Thank you, Eduardo. And those look amazing, by the way, in case we didn't say it. I'm very partial to your green one.
Yeah, that's for my grandson. He loves the green.
He's a right-thinking American. Keep that up.
There you go. There you go.
My favorite color too.
That's funny. All right, thanks for sending those in, Eduardo. Great prints again, and looks like next week we'll see some H2D prints, so we're definitely
Hopefully.
looking for that. Looking forward to that. So thank you once
Great
again,
job,
buddy.
Eduardo.
I think the Panda is the new Benchy of H2Ds. I think everybody's
Exactly.
Uh,
going to print the Panda.
Yes, so that Panda is loaded on the H2D, but if you put the here's another little interesting thing. If you put the high flow nozzles in there, you can't print any of the things from the
Oh.
Got to be because it was sliced with. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah,
I mean,
because they're
you-
all sliced with the standard nozzle. Because I was just gonna do I put them in, and I was just gonna do a Benchy real quick to see how fast I could print a little. Because the Benchy's on there, And I went on there and it was like the setup is not correct and it had standard flow nozzle and I was like, oh man. So I still did that Panda, but I just loaded it from the home screen of Bamboo Studio instead. So yeah.
Have you tried to print with the high flow and the regular to see what the difference in time is?
I haven't done the
And
comparison through there. I just got those like what time is it? I think at like 5 and it's almost 9 here. So I've only had those nozzles for like 4 hours, so I haven't tried to do a difference.
Well,
I
you've got the
did a
3M
print for
method.
the unboxing and did the whole video and everything. That's one of the downsides of having a YouTube channel is I can't play as much as I would like sometimes because I have to record most of that stuff. And then I printed a couple of things and got the high flow nozzle, and then that's the first print with just 2 of those. But to your point, Eduardo, now I want to see, since it's easy enough, I'm going to flip it back to just the normal 4 and see how long it takes to print on the
Yeah,
normal.
I was going to say
.4s.
you've got the 3MF loaded. If you pull it up real quick, you could slice it with the high flow.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to make another print.
Yeah, let's pull this.
So let's you go to preview to see how long the current one takes, right?
Yep. So, 2 hours 6 minutes, which is right.
Okay, that's
so
the high
then,
flow.
Yes, then let's go back here and change this to standard. Later. It saved 2 minutes.
really?
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's worth paying
But
50 some bucks for, and compared to what is it, $23 now, compared to 50 some bucks for the
Yeah,
high flow.
I think the high flows only work well when you can have it really go like a large model doing a very straight line.
Yeah.
This might not be the right
shapes.
model.
And it also probably needs a high flow filament also.
Well, the bamboo stuff though is 20 millimeters per second.
Oh yes, I wonder if that's a good call out. So we could probably go down to max. Oh look, max volumetric speed. They raised to 24. It's normally 22 or 21 for like the matte stuff is normally 21, so it's 24 on here. So I wonder with the max or with the high flow if I could move this to like 26 or 28 because this is the one number that'll speed and slow everything down. Everything is based on
that's the governor. Yep.
But when you slice it with the nozzle, the high flow nozzle, wouldn't it change that automatically?
Let's see.
Maybe.
Because whenever you do this, it puts the little star next to it. Right?
No, what he's saying is close this, switch the nozzles back, and then open it back up just to see. So close your filament.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. No, it left it at 26.
And just hit the little button to reset it just to make sure. You know that little circle next to millimeters per second?
Yep, it put it back to 24.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be good to know because their
doesn't change.
Has always been a high speed.
No, so this is that's an interesting thing, and maybe that's something that one of us can send to Bamboo as a feature request. Is the max volumetric speed shouldn't just be stuck, and it's just tied to the filament right now. There should be a max volumetric speed for the standard flow nozzle and a max volumetric speed for the high flow nozzle. And you should be able to set that with them and then save it. And that way, if you're using PLA basic, then it's going to be this speed at the standard flow nozzle and this speed at the other nozzle. And you don't have to go back and change it. But yeah, you could go in and mess with that and speed it up.
So if you change your nozzle size from a 0.4 to a 0.6 or a 0.8, doesn't it adjust this also?
No.
It
no,
doesn't.
the volumetric speed is the same.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the software
it's the same
would know.
volume. It's the same volume.
Or the trick here is that it's the max volumetric speed.
Mhm.
doesn't mean that's what it's going to be running at.
Yeah, and the reason
No,
why
no,
the bigger nozzles go faster is because you usually do thicker layer lines,
Yeah,
and
it's
the
like
walls are
layer
also thicker, so you do less walls. So if you actually go and override the print in like a 0.06 nozzle and put it down to the equivalent of like 0.2 millimeter layer height, and you go and adjust the wall widths back down, like it'll basically perform the same as a 0.04. It's just because it can push out bigger lines and walls that the 0.06 goes faster.
I would have thought that it automatically changed it if you were
Yeah, see,
using.
and
Yeah,
I changed to the 0.6. It's
Yeah.
because it's tied to the filament, not to
yeah,
any
yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah. I hear
settings
you. I
on
hear you.
here. But that's a good
I hear you.
feature request, though. It
Yeah.
should be able to change and have a different volumetric, max volumetric speed for the nozzle type, the size and the flow rate of the nozzle.
Yeah,
The problem is the specifications for the what is used. And it may or may not have the option of letting that be a different filament, or for the same filament with different nozzles.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they come out with like a high speed filament. But
Well, what's interesting is you can only buy a 0.4 high flow, but there's a 0.26 and 8 option in here. I would be keen to get
high flow.
yeah. So
At a
look,
0.2 nozzle, and does it switch down to automatically?
it stays. Oh, it does change back.
and then for 0.6, does it have high flow?
No, but just it changes back. Oh no, it says 0.6 high flow. I got it
Okay.
to say it now. So I wonder if
Yep.
they'll have an option for that in the near future, since it's already. If I go to 0.8, it changes to standard. If I go to 0.2, it changes to standard.
So
But
maybe they only
0.4
to
and
0.6.
0.6, you can change to high flow.
I would love
Interesting.
flow.
Yeah, so with this huge build plate with the 0.6 high flow, you could really prototype some stuff and then just go into your strength and put it like at on 5% or whatever. If
Yep.
you wanted to prototype something really big, that'd be the way to do it. All right, back to hot fixes. Prince, so tell us, is this a bottle cap gun or whatever? Is that what those are?
This is they sold it as a Maker World hardware kit, where it didn't, the ones Bamboo does comes in its own little box with a picture on it. It's like the lamp or the clock or whatever. This, when they sold it, they kind of made it sound like it was the same thing, but it was just 2 bags of rubber bands and some screws that showed up. No fancy box. So this is a Tech 9 disc shooter. This is the version 2.5, and my son about lost his mind when he realized I could print him guns now. He's been.
We're probably going to see a lot of these on next week's stream now.
I printed about 50 of them, and he took it with me to a meeting, and he shot it down this hallway, and I'll be damned if those discs don't go pretty far and pretty straight, because they kind of act like little frisbees. I was so impressed. And they have also 3D printed spring in there. I did it out of the Giant Arm Silver PETG because PETG is a little more like flexible than PLA. But man, it was different.
On the spring, you want to make sure you don't leave it compressed.
Correct. I told him that. Yep, I told him don't leave it all in there.
That's a Maker World.
Yeah, it's Maker World. I'll see if I can grab it real quick. I will say assembling it was a little bit of a pain because where they moved it again? Oh, they moved under there. User profile ratings. The video instructions are in Chinese, or at least I'm assuming they're Chinese. And then
Language you don't speak.
I found somebody's audio dub of it where he paused it. He paused it. He did a voiceover in English and he paused it. but then that was the 1.0, and I'm doing the version 2.5, and so they had animated JPEGs or GIFs on this. You had to spend some time like really paying attention, and I don't know if they're going to come out there, but yeah, you can kind of see them. They're flying. They shoot out like on purpose, and they go pretty straight.
I can't
That's
print this
crazy
for
that
my
it's
grand.
semi-automatic too. You know?
Oh, dude, it's freaking amazing.
That little thing's awesome.
I
You can
honestly
send in
thought
your
I,
version of this awesome little toy next week.
I've spent $20 at Target on guns that aren't half as cool as that for my kids, so I'm over the
And
moon.
the fact that you don't have to cock it
How-
every time is pretty awesome.
how-
It's
how
like
old are
double
you?
action. That's pretty fun.
How old are your kids?
8 and 11.
11. Okay.
My son is 8.
My-
My daughter's 11.
This is you
My-
shooting it now, right?
This is me shooting it. Yes.
Playing with it.
Yeah,
Just for
I
you
can't
guys.
get that for my grandson. He'll be 5 in August, and he'll probably poke his sister's eye out.
Yeah.
He'll
I
shoot
can't
his
give it to him.
eye out.
Yeah, his or his sister's.
I'm making a joke about the movie. He'll shoot his eye out.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Shoot your eye out, kid. That's what Santa says.
Yeah, honestly, I had no idea how absolutely powerful this gun was, and how accurate it was. I was actually a little nervous when I saw him shoot it down this long hallway. I was like, well, that's going to be problematic.
I'm sure the school's gonna love that. Oh,
He
that's
chose
awesome.
the that's Bamboo Lab old school green, not the mistletoe green, and that's Overture Easy PLA digital blue.
And then look, the last one you got a ringer. You can see this even vibrate a little bit. Look, watch. Ding! He
One
got
of
a
them
ringer
actually-
right there. Ding!
I can't remember which one actually bounced back. I think it might have been the first one, almost bounced back and hit me in the head. It flew.
You print out some safety glasses along with this thing.
Yeah.
It goes about what 12 feet, 10 feet.
Oh no, it went like a good 20 feet.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
That
It
thing
Yeah.
is awesome.
it's like those little discs kind of act almost like frisbees, right?
I wonder
Mhm.
if a PLA would work better for the spring.
Possibly.
It'll depend on the temperature, ambient room temperature.
This was my 1.0 effort, and to get the spring out, they just have a piece of filament holding in the bottom plate to the clip. So all I have to do is push that little piece of filament out to replace the spring. So even if I have to reprint the spring, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I didn't use glue on any parts of the gun.
And how long did it take to print the entire gun?
I want to say I had it done the same day. I want to say
Make sure they don't take it to school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
too late.
Oh, too late.
But I had it all done in a day. I started early
It's a
morning, and I
physics
think we had the last of
project.
it done by the evening. But
It's a
Anyway.
physics project. It's for,
Yes.
for learning purposes.
Yeah.
only.
I've heard of
Learning-
kids they've
learning
been
purposes
suspended
only.
because they drew a gun, not just for drawing a gun.
That's crazy. All right, let's see what's next. Oh, there's all of the bunny rabbits.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah, I took my 3D printed wooden basket with all the bunnies. I took them to a meeting that I go to where I bring them snacks, and I brought my 3D printed candy dispenser, and I put Cadbury cream. I know you guys seen this before, but I was just like, here it is in action. So that's all.
Mm. And those are real cookies, right? That have
Yes,
3D
they're not
printed.
3D
Okay. Okay.
What filament
that's
is
on
that
top.
purple on the sprinkles?
It does kind of look like little pieces of filament now that you say it.
yeah. Chopped up filament.
Yeah, how did you get it to chop the filament up like that? What was the chamber temperature?
I'm definitely done printing bunnies for a while. I printed almost 400 of them, so I'm
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
And my kids took them to school and handed them out. I took them to 2 meetings and handed them out. And then my kids went to a egg hunt, and I brought that and I handed that out to all the kids participating in the egg hunt. So it was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Very cool.
Oh, these
Yeah.
turned out cool.
This is female.
Yeah, the family. That's awesome.
The one on the right,
female
you
one
guys,
is the one on the right, right?
With high
The
heels.
female, the female is like
Yeah, sure,
two
the high
two and a half
heels.
times the size of the
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 one on the
female's
right
on
is
the right.
yeah, the one on the right is 150% scale. It's one I've sent in before, but my daughter, I found they had baby dummy 13. Somebody made a baby version, which is actually a different model. It's inspired by a dummy 13, but it's a different model. It's the one in the middle. And then my daughter was like, well, I need to have the mommy, the baby, and like the young, the older sister. So I printed her the
I
regular
see.
size. Yeah.
I see.
So the baby is very cute. The hands don't want to stay on real well, but she's playing with these things like they're Barbies. It's ridiculous. But
Cool.
yep, giant arm silver PETG, and then that is Overture, one of the Overture Gold PLAs. I can't remember which. I can't remember if it's the Royal Gold or Royal Gold Pro.
Very cool.
And of course, I made one for her, and of course, my son didn't want to feel left out, so I made him one in the red that I made for his Deadpool. So Deadpool has a baby now. In hindsight, I would have printed the head. The heads on Dummy 13s, the helmet is separate. These, it's all one piece, and in hindsight, I would have printed the heads, the gold or the red. But live and learn. My daughter loves the gold filaments. It's ridiculous. Everything's got to be gold. So this we call it, not cabinet,
Storage system.
storage system. Yeah, I showed the two smaller shelves on top. I sent in a couple weeks ago in the enclosure. I since then printed the bottom one with the bigger drawers. So this is me expanding the system, and the only thing I don't like about it, the two things I don't like about it is the way the author did the spacing. There's a huge gap in between the bottom of the big drawers and the floor where they, you can see the gap there under the top shelf. And I talked to him about resizing them to actually take up that space. I was like, dude, that's a lot of wasted space. And he's like, well, but if I do that, that'll mess with this, and this. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think you scaled this well. He was willing to go through it, but he wanted to argue with me quite a bit. I'm like, dude, I can stick my finger in there. It looks weird. But yeah, so there's
this gap
What's
here.
holding it up?
And when you open the large one, how is it configured inside?
Oh, I didn't put any of the bins in there, and you'll see in a second.
It's opened up. Okay.
Yeah. And the only other thing I don't like is there's no way, you need something down the front, because if you're carrying it, the drawers like to just slide out. I was like, you need to put a rubber band across the front of them or something, just something to hold them a little bit in place. But
The one I printed, which is similar to this, is a little smaller, and they actually they have a click. It holds in place. Stays in place.
I'm not going to print any more of this. I'm going to look for another one. So, if you have
How many
suggestions,
pieces does that take or how many plates does that build in?
this was on my X1 Carbon, and I think it was too big to do the lid and the bottom at the same time. So I think I did the bottom, and then I did the lid and all the other pieces. But, the drawers, the drawers are great. I like the drawers. It's the individual, the things you see open, if we're calling those drawers boxes. I love the boxes. I like the boxes. The drawer system leaves something to be desired, but I put all my Maker World stuff somewhere. Got it organized. It's good now. So I'm happy.
How long does each box take to print?
It's different because these bigger ones are twice the size of the smaller ones. I honestly don't remember. I'd have to go look. But it did eat a lot of filament. He is generous on his
Infill.
yeah, and even I tuned it down to 15% with 3 walls. I was like, that's plenty for this stuff. But just the geometry he designs where the ribbing goes in and out, it definitely makes the part stronger, the wall stronger with that ribbing in it, but it ends up eating a lot more plastic. So I burned through a couple rolls of giant arm PETG.
Yeah.
But again, I had all these Maker World kit things just sprawling everywhere. Now I'm at least somewhat organized, and it's meta that they're in a 3D printed case. So
What's the black string there?
that is something from. It was completely unrelated to Maker World stuff. It was just some black stretchy string.
Okay.
We ended up using that. I don't know if you remember like a month ago, I printed the mask from Squid Game for my son, and I found that string, and we used that to make the elastic string around the back. So
okay.
Figuring they'd want more masks, I threw that Ziploc baggie and threw it in there. But there's the keychains, the Maker World, or I should say the Bamboo Lab hardware kit, LED lights, and the little on the right hand side is those little wind up walking things.
Yeah. These systems are great. The problem that I have with mine, which is similar to this, they're not really labeled from the outside, so you got to open each one to remember what's in. Like I printed I think like 15 or 12 of them, and I can't remember what's in each one. So every time I'm looking for something, I have to open them up, and instead of there's a way of putting some labeling on it. There's no label in the front of it, so you don't know what's in there.
The bigger ones, there's room below the sliding bars to put like a label maker label on them, but the smaller ones up above, there's no real good spot for a label. Yeah. You're right.
Well, that's the one that I printed. I haven't printed any of the big ones, and the small ones that I printed are small. I mean, I wish they were a little bigger, but they came out afterwards with a larger model. Maybe it's this one.
My issue with these is it's not big enough for a lot of stuff. That's another good thing on the H2D. I hope there's some bigger ones of these that come out that are a little bit larger, store a little bit more stuff. And then I agree, you got to have some sort of labeling system on there because it's hard to remember what all's in each one of those. It makes it hard to organize if you don't know where stuff is.
Yep.
If I ever get playing with Fusion 360 again, I would take this guy's design and really tweak a lot about it, and but keep a lot of the ideas he had. But yeah, I would make a spot for labels. I'd make it so the drawers really the box is really set in good on the drawer system, and so you could carry it without them like I carried it up the stairs and 2 of the boxes slid out. Just walking up the stairs with it, I wasn't swinging it hard or anything. So
it bounced down the stairs and break open.
Hey, they did not. To their defense, they did not. They actually closed really well. So
the smaller one, do they lock well, or they also come out?
I mean, when you slide them back in, they kind of sit in a little bit, but if they can still, the boxes can still slide out of the drawer slots pretty easily, I think.
The one I printed, you have to push them up a little bit to be able to pull them out. They have they don't have a lock, but you have to push them up to be able to get them out.
Like a little step in front of it or whatever.
Exactly. So a little like a little lip. Yeah, lip. Not very very big, but enough that you need to. I mean, not that I would carry them around. Anyway.
It'd be nice to have a little thing on the side that flips in.
Lock it. Yeah. The labeling is my biggest issue with it. Every time I'm looking for something, I have to open them all. I can't find it. I have like 10 of them. I don't even know what's in each one. I don't remember.
And the guy who designed this really designed it the inside to like be like a Gridfinity style tray system. And I did that on the smaller ones, but the bigger ones, I just said, no, I'm just going to use the whole box. So, because it was at that point it was eating a lot of plastic, and I was like, eh.
Yeah, and then you
Plus,
not a lot of room in there.
I like the idea of having room because my issue is that I printed the small one with the different sizes, dividers. But they're small. But I didn't print any of the large one. They weren't around when I may look into it.
A hint for strengthening the top surface and or the bottom is if you stop at mid print or before it puts on the top layer, and then drop in a piece of hot threaded rod, and say a number 2 threaded rod that goes diagonally. It would strengthen the length. So the threaded rod ends up being great on the infill to strengthen it.
These lids aren't like, they're like the size of my hand, so I don't think that they flex that much. But if you made like one the size of a briefcase or something, I would absolutely think that'd be a good idea. That's clever.
All right, thanks for those prints, Hotfix.
Yep.
And
thanks, Hotfix.
Let's go to the next ones. This is from Jody, who sent it in last week. I don't know if Jody is out there watching us today, but these turned out pretty cool as well.
Yeah, cool looking.
Get swole!
Do you know how you get Pokemon on a bus? Or how you get Pikachu on a bus? You Pokemon.
Oh my god. Well, Jody, if you're out there, these look really good.
These turned out great.
I even like the layer lines on the muscles because it just makes the muscles look like almost kind of like veiny. It gives them that. Thanks, Doc. It gives them like a really good textured look to the muscles. I like that a lot. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I assume these were printed in several plates and then glued together. It'll probably take forever to print this as one unit.
Where you can tell the top layer on the arms is different from the top layer on the head.
Yes.
Yep, cool print. All right, next and last on the list is Robert. So let's go ahead and open these up and let us know what you designed this week.
They're a simple box, a pencil box. Notice the top has a prismatic plate on it.
Yep, you can see the lines on it right there.
And white doesn't accentuate that. And the next print or image has I thought I had the second image. Oh, I sent you a link.
I think
this
there's
is another box.
Yeah, there's a chat for whatever.
Cool.
So by pressing that, it opens it up.
You have a spring system in there? How did you do that?
And where you can see the wings, and when you press it, and it presses up on the sides.
I see.
Yeah.
Right here, watch right here. You see the little spring come up.
I better not let my kids see this. I'll be printing it off everybody in the class.
Yeah, everybody in class will need a pencil box.
You have to do 20 of them, right?
Robert, is that on Maker World?
Yep.
I'm definitely gonna be printing at least one though. That's pretty clever. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, that's a cool box.
It does need a spring thing that's underneath the button.
What kind of spring?
What?
What kind of
I,
spring
I
is it?
used a metal spring that I happen to have here. And it would be a little bit larger than a pen spring.
Okay.
I think just enough to give the button an upward force. There's not much uh, force needed. It all depends on how well your prints are calibrated.
Hmm.
Somebody told me if you link to on your Maker World model post, if you link to specific hardware pieces or even hardware kits on Bamboo Labs site, they'll give you like a percentage or a commission on that. So I don't know anybody who said 100% that is what happens, but
I'm on their commission and membership.
okay. So did you on this model posting did you
I
link to
didn't
like
include their spring.
okay.
I just hadn't looked into getting their springs.
Get that affiliate link.
Yeah, buddy, make that money.
Hey, why not? And then
That
this
is-
is another box here.
Yeah, this is a puzzle box. Go back to the last image. And so you have to solve this puzzle to open it up.
Oh, that's cool.
By moving the pieces around, and it's all print in place, except for the backing of this. So go to the opened box. So you can see the backing for the puzzle. It's on the far side of the. You can see the carbon fiber imprint, and that's the puzzles on the far side of that. So that's a separate piece.
Interesting. That's super cool. That's cool that these little puzzle boxes, there's a bunch of wood ones as well. These are all really cool.
Yeah,
Very, very interesting.
and I actually need to upload the picture of this, and I printed this today. Hey, and the top is also a prismatic plate. You can see a little hint of that.
You can see the little bubbles. It's really, really cool.
And if you wanted to combine prints and put some image on this, and that would work.
Where do you get the inspiration to do something like that?
And just come up with it. And this one is similar to a wood box that I've seen. But it's incorporating all the printing issues and how can it print this. All this is printed in place.
So you're just like sitting at the kitchen table having a cup of coffee and just go, I know, I'll come up with a puzzle box.
Yeah.
Just literally out of the blue.
Yep.
Man, that is I wish my brain worked that way, dude.
Let me
I'm
fire
very
Fusion up real quick and make a puzzle
Yeah.
box.
well, I'm eating my donut.
But that's what I
Sometimes
do for a
one hand and
living.
donut the other. No, that's I first of all, I don't even have the skill to make that, but to even have the thought to try and make that is also impressive. So good job, man.
And thanks.
Yeah, awesome.
And I just give away stuff like this.
That's really, really cool. Well, thanks, guys, for all of the prints that you sent in. Thank you, everybody, for joining this week. That's all we have for this week. Thank you, Robert, for sending those in. Super cool designs once again. I hope everybody has a great rest of their weekend, and I'll see you on tomorrow's video.
A few things that I wanted
Oh,
to have some people may want to keep an eye on is the index filament nozzles. I sent you a link for that. I forgot the company that makes that. I saw it. It's made the video from what do you call it? Need It, Make It. The video that came out yesterday, he gave a really good explanation of it. It looks really impressive. And I think that,
Right.
and I sent you a link to that. Another thing to keep an eye out for is brick layers. And it's basically staggering. Yeah, it's Bondtech. And if you stagger your layers, every other layer is closer together. And there's a great way that you can actually do that in Bamboo Studio now.
So you can stagger the layer height of the individual walls.
Yes.
Oh.
And on all the infill.
Interesting.
It's using a Python script run after or it runs.
Yep.
But it's going to be making it makes the prints 20 to 30% stronger.
Yep. We'll have to take a look at that on the next one. But yeah, that's all we have for this evening, everybody. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see everybody on tomorrow's video. Have a great rest of your weekend and have a great week, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
See you all in
Good
May.
night.
Thanks, Len.
Till the next one.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.